this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our countdown to Christmas in my advent calendar series. And yep, we are up to day number 17. So I don't know if anyone spotted the, can't blame it, it was a deliberate mistake, but the mistake, I by accidentally had already listed day 17's video as day 12, I think it was. So yeah, I do apologise for that. So I obviously got completely kind of mucked up with my, you know, what was going when. So we are here for day 17, or, you know, here for day 17. So I've got something pretty different actually today. So yeah, what I've got is these little paper bags. Now, one of them looks a lot bigger. It's not really because it's not because it's containing anything, you know, massively different in size to this one. It's just kind of how I folded it in that it's gone into this bigger bag. But I'm going to just show you what you get. So I will be listing these separately, obviously, and I will list them separately rather than potluck because they are very different in colour schemes. You know, and one kind of looks a lot more sort of boho style to me, you know, which obviously you don't necessarily want if that's not your kind of thing. So you get this little altered paper bag. It's very simplistic. It's just a little paper bag that's just been altered with a little bit of lace and a little rosebud up there. And then contained within the paper bag, you have got a couple of little fabric items. So what you get a couple of little fabric flowers that I've made, obviously. You've got a big puffed yo-yo. It's got this gorgeous pearly centre. Now, I've inked this up with Distress Inks. A little bit with the duck egg and a little bit with the vintage photo. So it looks very, very vintage, I have to say. It's very kind of discoloured and, yeah, yellowed and kind of aged looking. So there's that one. This one, obviously, I haven't Distress Inked or anything like that. It's just some Hessian and various bits layered up. So you get two little fabric flowers. Obviously, you know, these could go anywhere in your journal. This one's not too bulky other than the centre, but I mean, if you didn't like that, you could always pull that off and replace it with a different centre if you wanted it very flat, because it would then, you know, lay quite a flat flower inside your journal. This one, obviously, this is quite a bulky flower because this is one of those puffed yo-yos. So, I mean, I personally, when I use these, I would use it on the cover. Now, quite often I do, what do you call it? You know, bulldog clip these onto a cover rather than glue them on, because then they can be, you know, taken off as you wish. But, you know, you can use them however kind of you fancy. So, yeah, obviously I have glued them on at times as well. Then you get one of those little tassel embellishments. Now, obviously, we've made these in a mass making, so, you know, the chances are you've probably made some of these yourself. But because I've got a blue-themed fabric fun pack here, I just thought I would include one of these because it's obviously going along with the, you know, the blue theme that we've got going. And then what else you get is you get this very long snippet roll. Now, this snippet roll, when I say that the kits are kind of very similar, this is much longer, I think, than the other snippet roll, but it is also much narrower. So, yeah, they're going to be kind of slightly different. This one, obviously, much longer, much narrower than the other one. And obviously, as you can see, this is blue themed. So we've got lots of blue bits. So what it is, it's a, you know, fabric snippet roll stitched on the sewing machine and everything, and then I've glued on extra bits and pieces, so it's a kind of fussy embellished snippet roll. So you've got bows, you've got some of my button embellishments, you've got flowers, you've got some ribbons with the wax trims, the wax seals, you've got these little flower trims, all sorts of different things going on here. You've got some of my hand stitched fabric ruffles, some more of the button embellishments there, this gorgeous little satin flower, absolutely love those. You know, some little, I don't know what you'd call those, but, you know, more fabric flower trims. Flower here layered up with a bit of ribbon as a sort of banner, and then this satin ribbon sort of flower in the middle. A layered up kind of cluster embellishment here with a metal piece and a little pearly centre. And then on this one, I also have put, this is some old jewellery of mine, I think it was a necklace, and I've just glued these on. So there's that one there, and then there's another piece of it here, just because I thought colour-wise this just goes beautifully. Now, when you use a snippet roll, for those people who kind of are unfamiliar really, I mean, I've used a snippet roll in different ways. So sometimes, you know, I've used a snippet roll as a closure, for instance, on a journal. So I would just, you know, wrap this round the journal and then cut it down, you know, where it needs to be. So let's just say, for instance, this is my journal. I mean, that's huge, but yeah, if it was a, you know, let's say to here. Okay, so you'd wrap it round, you'd cut your snippet roll here, and then what you could do is you could just stitch on some Velcro or some, you know, those little pop stud things or something like that to use it as an actual closure. Having said that, I have also used snippet rolls as, you know, decorative pieces on covers, and that's a really lovely way to use them because of course they're going to go very far then. So you could just cut down little portions. I mean, you know, if they're quite flat, you could obviously use them in your journal. This one here, obviously it's a bit more bulky because it's got that piece of jewellery, so I wouldn't use that in a journal, but this section here, you definitely could. This section, obviously where it's more bulky, I would use that on a cover. And it's just, you know, a really nice way to just cut it down and, you know, just decorate your cover by popping on little bits of your snippet roll. So that is snippet roll number 1, or, you know, the item, yeah, the items contained in fabric fun pack number 1. So yeah, all contained obviously in this little paper bag. Just pop that away in there. And then you've got, like I say, the little tassel and then the couple of flowers there as well. So, you know, quite a few things to have fun with there. And that snippet roll, like I say, depending on how you use that, if you cut that down into little sections, that could last you for absolutely ages. I mean, I've got some decorated snippet rolls that I've used before, and they've lasted for a really long time because obviously I've just used, you know, a little section per cover. And, you know, they might last you, you know, 10 journals or something like that. So, you know, can really make them go a long way. This is Fabric Fun Pack number 2. Again, it's an altered paper bag. Now, this one did have handles, so just want to point this out. So I've pulled the handles off and you've just got then some little torn bits of the paper bag. I just want to point that out because, of course, it's, you know, it's not looking too brilliant. But, you know, this is just the packaging. Just some lace trim and a little rosebud up there. Now, this one here is what I would call the boho kind of themed pack. I don't know really whether it's boho, but it looks quite boho to me. Now, boho's not really a style that I'm particularly very familiar with. I've never done anything boho before, but yeah, I think this looks quite boho. So again, you've got one of those little tassel pieces that you could hang from a journal. I love this tassel. I have to say, was kind of holding this and yeah, tempted not to put it in, but I thought colour wise it just was really pretty. So that's attached just with a bulb pin, and you just, you know, pin that onto your cover on your journal. You've then got 2 little fabric flowers. Now this one here, obviously a lot more kind of heavily embellished. You've got this almost like a feather boa type thing going on. You've got some sequins, some pearly trim, and then obviously the flower itself. Just absolutely gorgeous. Obviously this is quite a bulky flower, so again I would use this glued on to a cover. I would not use this on the inside of a journal just because it is very bulky, but it's a really very pretty flower, I have to say. And then I've got this one much more toned down, much more kind of neutral, but I've put this in because of course there are parts of this snippet roll which are more neutral, and you know, this can then go in, you know, boho or any other theme. And again, like I say, it's a much flatter flower, so this you could definitely use inside a journal, and yeah, just pop it in the journal. Now this snippet roll, this is the one that I did for that fast flow stitching collaboration video, which if you watch that, not my favorite thing to do at all. The fast flow stitching, not really my type of thing, but I really did love how the snippet roll turned out. And obviously you've got all that crazy stitching going on. I mean, it doesn't show up that brilliantly because of course I have stuck a lot of embellishments over here. You can probably see it better on the back, but we've got an eclectic bunch of things going on here. And what I did, because the stitching, I had done the stitching in this kind of tealy greeny colour during the video, I've added a few bits of tealy green type stuff onto the snippet roll, which I think just adds to that boho theme. So I'm just going to kind of run you down it. So you've got, you know, a bow and things all added onto here. You've got some metal embellishments, and then you've got these little satin flowers and the satin rosebuds. And I just added that bright pink one afterwards. I actually had not added the bright pink first, and it looked okay. And then I just thought, well, I'm just going to try one of those. Oh my goodness, what a huge difference. That pink just literally, wow, brought the whole snippet roll kind of out of itself. Now, I did mention in the previous, you know, the previous bag with that snippet roll, this one is shorter. So I'll just quickly, you know, give you a sort of run like that, run down it. But it is a lot wider. So, you know, you've got quite a lot more width on here. So, you know, again, you could use this how you like. But you could obviously wrap this around a journal and again, you know, snip it down and then just pop a, you know, popper or, you know, Velcro or whatever onto there as a fastening. Or, of course, you could use it in little chunks in your journal. Now, quite a few of these, I think, are sort of flatter embellishments. And again, this is just kind of how it's turned out. It wasn't intentional. But yeah, so this has got a flatter effect than the other one. So I think you could use a lot of this more inside your journal, which the other one you possibly couldn't because you had some more bulky embellishments. But I just love how it turned out. You've got some of my button embellishments there, little fabric satin bow. You've got quite a few of my bows that I've kind of tied there and popped them on. And then you've got these gorgeous little metal owls. I'm not sure whether that really showed up, but you've got one here. You've got another one here. And those metal owls, they've got the most delicate kind of turquoisey colour put over the metal. So it looks really pretty. Then you've got this butterfly, which this butterfly is from, again, it's from some old jewellery. And I've just popped it on here because I don't think the camera's really picking this up, but this is a very delicate turquoisey colour over the metal. And this also is pretty much the same colour. So, I mean, they just match perfectly. And I thought, wow, I mean, if you just cut that little chunk off and pop that on a cover, how gorgeous is that? I mean, I just absolutely love it. Likewise, this section, you know, you could cut that piece off. I just, yeah, really love how it turned out. So you've got those bits. Then you've got more bits here, satin flower, another button embellishment here, a bow, another metal piece here. And then I've also glued on some sari silk, ruffled it up on there, which again has brought that teal into the, you know, equation a bit more. And then you've got this section here, again, just gorgeous. Here, another one of those little owls and a little bow. And then here, this is probably my favourite section. To me, this just looks so gorgeous. I love these colours. So you've got a more neutral kind of end here. You've got a metal piece here on the end. Then you've got lots of, you know, more muted tones with the ivory and the gold type tones and the brown. And then I couldn't resist but pop that bright pink bow down there as well, which just looks gorgeous. You've got some of that little bling there, which again, I'm not sure how well the camera's picking that up. Another button embellishment there and another rosebud here. Another one of those satin trims, which again, you've got some orange lace just kind of poking behind. So it just is, you know, picking up touches of that. And yeah, I mean, I just absolutely love how this turned out. This is quite heavy, I have to say. The other one probably is as well, but I didn't notice it quite so much. This one feels quite weighty because it's obviously got a lot of, you know, it's got a lot of fabric. It's got a lot of lace. It's got, you know, actually a lot of glue. And of course, a lot of embellishment pieces on there as well now. But it feels lovely to hold. And yeah, I just love how it turned out. So yeah, I really hope that you like it. Obviously, like I say, this is, you know, going to be listed separately to the other one. Only because, you know, I'm well aware that the two kits are very, very different. And I just think, well, if you didn't like, you know, the colours of this, you're going to be pretty disappointed if this was the one that you ended up getting. So yeah, they will be listed separately. You know, so hopefully you would get the one that you really liked, you know, if you wanted to get one. So I just think they're quite a nice little addition. Obviously, you know, you've got, like I say, quite a, you know, a long length of the snippet roll there. And, you know, depending on how you use it, I mean, obviously not if you use it as a closure, but if you use it cut down, you know, to pop onto your covers and things, I think it would go really quite a long way. My snippet rolls I've definitely found have gone a long way when I've used them, cutting them down. So yeah, I really hope that you like them. So this one is the boho themed pack. And then the other one, obviously, this is the blue themed pack. So they are going to be listed in my Etsy shop today at 2 p.m. GMT. And yeah, good luck if you would like to get one, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much then. Bye.